Today I'm going to talk to you about the letter that you dreaded getting, that notice of default. So why does someone get the notice of default? You know, if you're falling behind on your mortgage payment, it's essential to understand the implications of the notice of default. This legal document is more than just a formal warning. You know, in North Carolina, it's a necessary step in the foreclosure process, signaling the lender's intention to take further action on your home. So let's break it down in a simple form. When is the notice of default issued in North Carolina? So it's issued when specific conditions are met, signaling that the borrower has failed to meet the mortgage obligations. To truly understand when and why this notice is issued, it's essential to examine the criteria lenders follow and the timeline leading up to the foreclosure process. You know, a notice of default, it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's tied to missed mortgage payments. It's a specific set of conditions outlined in your loan agreement, often involving several mortgage payments. But how many missed payments does it actually take to reach this point? Well, missing one or two payments, it won't typically result in immediate action. However, once you missed 3 payments, that's take 90-day period, most lenders will classify the loan as in default. So the federal law requires lenders to wait until the borrower is at least 120 days delinquent before initiating the first step in the formal foreclosure process. This means lenders often issue a notice of default after 4 or more missed payments. Lenders may also account for factors beyond missed payments, such as failure to maintain your homeowner's insurance or pay property taxes tied to the loan. However, unpaid mortgage payments remain the most common reason behind a notice of default. And when you see this term, think of it as a confirmation from your lender that your account status is more than just past due. It's a wake-up call that the loan agreement is now in breach, requiring an immediate attention. Now, the notice of default isn't just paperwork. It's a blueprint for understanding where you stand with your lender and the status of your mortgage property. It provides key details about your situation and spells out what the options you have are to move forward. So let's take a closer look at what's inside this critical document. So now the core of the notice of default is a breakdown of exactly what you owe on your mortgage loan. Think of this section as a financial snapshot showing how deep the issue really goes. Here's what is typically included. It's your outstanding balance. This outlines the total amount you're behind, including missed payments. Interest and fees, additional charges such as interest, late fees, and penalties will also be listed. Specific payments missed, it's often detailed which payments haven't been made, giving you a clear timeline of the default. Now, payment instructions. Lenders may include how and where to send the payments, making it easier to resolve the issue. This part of the notice is meant to be straightforward, so there's no guessing about what's owed or how it's calculated. For many borrowers, seeing these numbers puts a situation in clearer terms, even if it's really hard to read. Now, receiving the notice of default, it doesn't automatically mean that you're going to lose your home. So most notices include a pathway to cure the default and get your loan back on track. Now, here's some of the typical options. Full repayment. You can pay the entire overdue balance, including the fees, within a specific time frame, commonly about 30 days, and it will put your loan back in good standing. Then there's also the option for repayment plans. If a lump sum payment isn't realistic, if you reach out to the lender soon enough, lenders may offer an installment plan to catch you up. Another one is a loan modification. This can involve adjusting the loan terms, such as extending the payment period or lowering the interest rates to make it more manageable. Forbearance agreements. In some cases, lenders may temporarily reduce or suspend payments to help you through a short-term hardship. It's important to act quickly here. The window of curing a default, it doesn't last forever. Now, if you're looking at this section of a notice of default, it's the lender's way of showing you that there's still a chance for resolution before things escalate. A notice of default doesn't just inform you of missed payments, it also outlines the legal weight of inaction. Deadlines and repercussions are spelled out so that there's no confusion about what's coming next. Here's what this section often includes. A cure date. You'll see a specific date by which you need to cure the default. This is often 30 days, but it can vary. A foreclosure warning. The notice will explain that foreclosure actions like a foreclosure will begin if you don't resolve the issue by the deadline. And there's legal expenses. It may mention that additional fees like attorney fees or late fees related to the foreclosure will be added to your debt. Now, the next step in foreclosure is this might detail more court filings or a public notice process if the default isn't remedied. Treat this part of the notice as a written countdown. Failing to act during the outlined time period turns this document into a launch pad for foreclosure proceedings. Man, it's critical to understand these deadlines as they are legally binding, and you can quickly determine your next steps. Now, a notice of default is more than just a warning. It's essentially a playbook for what's happening and what may happen next. And when you know how to read it and you respond appropriately, there's often still time to regain control. Now, if the default isn't resolved, the foreclosure process moves forward, starting with a foreclosure hearing. Now, in North Carolina, it takes place before a clerk of court. And here's what typically happens in that foreclosure hearing. The lender must prove some key points, such as the loan's default, the proper notifications were given to the homeowner, and they have the authority to foreclose. And as the borrower, you can present your arguments or request additional time to explore repayment options. And the clerk oversees the hearing and decides whether the foreclosure can proceed. If approved, the lender will schedule a public auction of your home, usually within weeks. Even at this stage, there's still a chance to stop the foreclosure. You can pay the overdue balance, including the court and legal fees, or work out a settlement with your lender before the sale. Receiving that foreclosure notice of default can be one of the scariest moments to any homeowner. What you do next can make the difference between keeping your home and moving toward foreclosure. Here's how to respond effectively and take control of this situation. The first thing you should do after receiving your notice of default is to contact your lender or loan servicer immediately. It might feel intimidating, but avoiding this conversation only makes things worse. Now, when you reach out, be polite and direct. Ask to discuss your options and explain your current financial challenges. Some questions to consider asking are there any repayment plans or loan modification programs available? Can a temporary forbearance be arranged while I can catch up? While they waive any late fees to make repayment more manageable? Be proactive. Show your lender that you're serious about resolving the issues. Lenders often prefer working out a solution rather than moving forward with the foreclosure to use this opportunity to negotiate. Now, if the financial trouble starts brewing, the worst thing you can do is to keep your lender in the dark. Open and consistent communication is often the difference between resolving the issue and escalating into foreclosure. Notify your lender early. If you know you might miss a payment, call your lender before it happens. Lenders are often more willing to work with you if you're proactive. understanding your options. Ask about alternatives like a loan modification, forbearance, or repayment plans. These can provide breathing room as you recover financially. Document all communications. Keep a record of every phone call, email, and letter. Include dates, names, and the content of your discussion. Be honest about your situation. Sugarcoating your financial troubles helps no one. Be upfront so your lender can help you find the realistic solution. Respond to notices promptly. Ignoring mail and calls from your lender will only make things worse. Once you're sent a notice of default, your options may become limited. Now, know your rights. Review your mortgage terms and the state laws. These will outline what the lender can and cannot do in case of payment issues. Think of your relationship with your lender as a partnership. The sooner you invite them into the conversation, the more likely both parties can find a solution together. They want to avoid a foreclosure too. It's expensive for them, as it is life-altering for you. Now, taking these preventative steps, they won't guarantee that you'll never face financial difficulties, but they give you the tools to respond effectively when challenges arise. Being prepared and proactive can make all the differences in the world. Now, notice of default in North Carolina is a serious warning, but it's not the end of your options. Understanding what it means and taking immediate action can make a significant difference in saving your home. Whether it's negotiating with your lender, seeking legal advice, or working with a housing consultant, help is available. Don't wait until it's too late. Reach out for assistance, explore your options, and take control of your situation. Your home is worth fighting for. Thank you for your time. I hope you found this beneficial. If you have, don't hesitate to reach out to us on our website if you'd like to discuss any of this further. Thank you very much. Have a great day.